So somebody asked me to convert my vote system to use switches instead of buttons. I think buttons are better. However, this has broader applications. It's what he wanted. Might as well. And this has broader application than just that. Because a lot of people have asked me questions about how to use what I've got with a slightly different input device. So this is an example of how that's done. I've got 4 buttons, 5 buttons. And what you want is to have switches instead of buttons. So I open up VS Code. All right, here we go. And we got a vote class option device. And we've got the vote button is a button device right now, right? What we want is instead of that to have a this to be a switch device. That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that. Zoom in, Control plus. Okay. So this should be a switch device. C, and then this we need to be vote switch. Dot, and then if we look at the verse reference online, we've got the switch device and we want the turned on event. And then T can turned on event. Great. And now we take this and we build verse code. And now things for these vote devices over here, the vote class option device, they all have vote switches, and the vote switches are not switches. So it deleted that. So now what we do is go here, we take all these buttons, we delete them, and we go into the Fortnite devices. We go to switch, and we pull out a switch, and we got this, CV, 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 and I just move them randomly. You'd want to place them a little differently. And now we've got class designer 1 and it's not class designer, sorry, it's the selection stuff I've got. This is number 4, so it takes 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and we save this file. Okay, so we go in here, we made this change where we changed this to a switch device, and then we subscribed to the turn on event, and then we reconnected everything over here in the vote class option device after replacing the switches. You wouldn't have to replace the switches. You would just, just hook it up. UEFN went out of control because my buttons lost control. All right. So, here we are waiting for Fortnite to boot. I spent a lot of my time doing this. Great. All right. So now here we are. We click here to turn class loadout 1 on. I don't know what I set up as class loadout 1. Okay, right into class 1, great. Now I don't know if the switches, okay, so I did not set up the switches to turn off here, but it will indeed only let me vote once. So you will also need to set these switches up. So can you set switches up? I don't know how this works as far as the settings go, but I bet you can set the switches up so they're in a group and only one of them can turn on at once. Okay,
Right.
well, that's something you're going to need to figure out on your own right here. Because I can turn all 4 of them on at once. But if you look at this, I assume this, let's see, let's make sure. Yeah, so what's happening right now is all 4 of these, the system is not designed at the moment. It only counts the last one. If you look at this, like I'm trying to give it a background that you can see it in, but if you look at it, you've got the 1 here, and that's associated with the fourth, it's the 4th of the numbers. And so if I turn this back on and back on, back off and back on, the second one is on. So it's only letting me vote once. The whole system is designed so that you can only vote once. If you wanted a different kind of vote system, and I have considered making a fairly, cheeky video about the various kinds of voting systems that MIT has come up with that are more effective than just one, winner takes all voting. But that's a whole different concept that you would need a weird different UI for. Anyway, this is set up so that when you look at the code, we'll go back to the code. So it works as it is. We're just going to say that and go with that. So it works as it is, and let's go back over here to display capture 1. Fine. We're done in Fortnite. So it works as it is, and if you look at the switch device, where's the switch device? Switch devices, switch 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. Allow class, allow team. Use persistent, check switch. Mutually exclusive. Right. So here you can do this mutually exclusive index. Let's make it mutually exclusive index 1. I don't know what that will be called in German. So we hit in-game, file, save all. And then all right, now the third switch is on, and now it doesn't so when you've got that, you have 2 votes at once, which the system naturally doesn't do, but it'll just visually reflect that, and you don't have to write code, which is good. I mean, the ideally you'd be able to subclass this. I mean, you could theoretically write anyway, at some point. I guess I could put an addendum that it would be nice to be able to subclass UEFN devices or versed UEFN devices so that you didn't have to write as much verse code for certain things. I had one project that really could have used subclasses for specific tools in Fortnite. Let's see here. So back we go to the code. Some setup stuff that I noticed. Let's see. So we've got the test switch hookup device is this thing here. This button, you may have noticed that I hit that button and it called it into the vote. And let's see here. You got your vote class option devices and your total class count. Right. Okay. And let me check the code one last time for something. Okay, so in the vote manager. Okay. So the vote manager is where the player, this right here tracks which player has voted for what. So you don't need to hook it to some of the things I've built. I can't remember what exactly you need to trace trace the spawn points, but this one you don't. Okay.